My brothers and sisters in Christ, today's readings are meant to give us great pause about our pride, our inattentiveness to the things of God, and in fact, how in our pride we often make ourselves out as God. So often when we hear about idol worship in the Old Testament or even in the Ten Commandments, we think, well, of course I don't make idols. That's a pagan thing. Who makes idols of God? But in fact, the idol is anything that we put in the place of God, that we give godly status to. And in fact, the biggest idol that we put forward is ourselves, when we try to think of ourselves like God. Even if we don't use that language, we think of the importance. When I make myself the center of my universe, as opposed to God, then I make a false idol of myself. And so in the first reading, while in the gospel, we hear just about riches, about the rich man, the difficulty of entering the kingdom. But the first reading takes us beyond the sense of just riches. There are so many things in life that can make us falsely give ourselves godly status. And that is, we become deluded of not only our own, great importance above all things, but we're so ingenious, we have ingenuity, we have brilliance and wisdom, or I collect wealth, or I have gifts and talents, or people like me, or whatever it is, we ascribe to all these things. And just as God says in the first reading, you think of yourself like a god, but you are not a god. And in fact, what is that thing that always reminds us? What is the thing that humbles like no other? And that is the specter of death. We see it constantly in life, that someone who thinks they have it all figured out, unbeaten, and then suddenly they realize there's nothing. Death is something more powerful than us. You can't buy your way out of death. You can't bargain with death. You can't do any of these things. We are mortal. God is God and I am not. And so the image of, will you say I am a god when the murderers come upon you, as he speaks in the first reading about the barbarians at the gates. No, we're reminded the day will come, things will remind us in great time of hardship that we aren't God, that we can't control our own destiny. There's only one who is God and who holds all things in the palm of his hand. However, that's also a great freedom to know not only do I not have to control everything, but the one who can loves me and holds me in the palm of his hand. And so not only am I not God, but I'm glad I am not God. I just spoke in the reflection on Saturday about Jesus' words that we need to be like children. The same way that a child doesn't have to worry about where the food on the table comes from, the house over their head. They have a joyful innocence and trust in their parents. In the same way, we do not need to control everything and all outcomes. We have a God who loves us and cares for our needs, and instead we are called to rejoice in him and his goodness. May God bless you.